Welcome back, Nerd Squad, the Top 10 Nerd. I'm your host, Johnny Rogers. If you happen to be new to the channel, we put out daily content on everything Marvel, DC, and nerd-centric, so hit that subscribe button to never miss another video. Plus, leave us a comment down below with which villain that you would love to see in the next Black Panther. And at number 10, the release date. With Endgame and Spider-Man Far From Home recently being released, it seems as though the MCU's Phase 3 has come to a close. But that just means fans will be theorizing all over the internet about when Phase 4 will begin. One of the movies confirmed for Phase 4 is Black Panther 2. And after the box office success of the first film, it's been reported that Ryan Coogler will be preparing the screenplay for Black Panther 2 this year. However, it's imperative to Marvel to make this film even better than the last, which will be no easy task. If we look at previous dates that Disney seems to cherish for Marvel movie releases, we could see Black Panther 2 being released in either November of 2020 or perhaps February of 2021, to capitalize on Black History Month. In at number 9, a resurrected villain. Way back in May of 2018, the Metro UK had reported that Michael B. Jordan would probably maybe reprise his role of the villain Eric Killmonger. Although we all saw, spoiler alert, Killmonger die at the end of the first Black Panther, so how could he possibly return for the second film? Well, the internet has its theories, so here's what we believe is the most plausible. Seeing as though for a moment Eric had taken on the mantle of Black Panther, that would mean that once he had perished, his soul would now be with the previous Black Panther warriors on the ancestral plane. So with that in mind, Eric might make an appearance, but only in the afterlife to give advice to T'Challa upon his triumphant return to Wakanda. Or maybe he'll give him bad advice. Who knows? In at number 8, King M'Baku. During the widespread death scenes that went on in Avengers Infinity War after Thanos had snapped his fingers, we got a shot of Wakanda's soldiers being dusted in the battlefield. However, at the very end of that scene, we see M'Baku get a close-up and then remain intact. T'Challa also vanished in the snapping, which meant that the throne of Wakanda was now missing a king. During that 5-year time period after the snap had occurred, it's very possible that M'Baku had taken control of the throne and thus would be regarded as the villain once T'Challa returns. As one fan theory suggests, M'Baku will become not only the king of Wakanda, but the new Black Panther as well. When T'Challa is brought back, he will challenge M'Baku for the kingship, but before losing, M'Baku will retreat to the mountains where he was before, yet keep the power of the Black Panther. This would then set up a storyline of there being two Wakandans, both with the power of the Black Panther. M'Baku is no stranger to taking on the role of a villain either. In the comic books, he's known as Man-Ape and is traditionally one of the more main villains for T'Challa. In at number 7, Namor the villain. During the scene in Avengers Endgame where Black Widow is getting a status report from the other Avengers, Okoye mentions something about a series of sub-oceanic earthquakes that were occurring off the coast of Africa. When Natasha asks if they need to be handled, Okoye simply says there's nothing that can be done about tectonic shifts, and then the movie kind of just moves on from there. The internet, on the other hand, did not move on. Many fans believe that this subtle line in the movie is hinting towards Namor's introduction. For fans waiting for Black Panther 2, this line could mean that we will get to see the on-screen debut of the battles between Wakanda and Atlantis, where Namor is not only from, but rules. Although as badly as Kevin Feige and fans want Namor to be in this film, it's ultimately going to come down to getting the rights for Namor from Universal Pictures. Always the rights. God. In at number 6, X-Men introduction. In the comic book, Storm and T'Challa were perhaps one of the strongest couples in the Marvel Universe. We watched them as teens where Storm rescued T'Challa with her weather controlling powers, then eventually a proposal and marriage. However, with time, their relationship did lead to divorce and Storm parting ways with Wakanda to stay with the X-Men instead. If there was ever a perfect opportunity to integrate the X-Men into a mainstream Marvel film, Black Panther 2 would be a terrific opportunity. They would have real storylines to work from, and another superhero who could help save Wakanda from whatever evil is on the way. In at number 5, the Soul Stone. The Infinity Stones have all been displayed in a number of different ways throughout the MCU, everything from the Tesseract to the Ether in Thor: The Dark World. What one theory suggests is that part of the Soul Stone is fused with the land of Wakanda. Fans believe that a lot of the scenes we see in the first film are actually hinting at the Soul Stone's power coming into play. Everything from Wakanda's ancestral plane that I mentioned before, where T'Challa speaks with his dead father, father for advice, to the source of the heart-shaped herb's power. You know, the one that makes them become the Black Panther. We know though that the Soul Stone, like its physical form, is on Vormir, but the theory is that a piece of Vormir infused with the Soul Stone's powers had landed on Wakanda and then been experimented on by their top scientists, leading to their empowerment. Very possible. In at number 4, KRAVEN the Hunter. Another rumored villain for the Black Panther sequel is classic Spider-Man bad guy KRAVEN the Hunter. In the Spider-Man comics, KRAVEN attempts to prove that he's the world's greatest hunter by taking out the web slinger, but we have yet to see him make a peep in any of the previous Spider-Man films. Ryan Coogler has said in a number of different interviews that he would love to snag KRAVEN for a Black Panther film. Coogler said, being a Marvel fan, you want to grab all of the characters. You realize there's contractual things and you don't have that character. There was a Christopher Priest run that was pretty heavy. There's a big scene where Panther's fighting KRAVEN the Hunter. Although due to Sony owning KRAVEN, it's going to take a lot of back and forth agreements between Disney and Sony just to have him in the film. There is the possibility that we get a mention or a brief teaser scene of KRAVEN, which would actually help set him up for, a larger role perhaps in the next Spider-Man film. In at number 3, MEPHISTO. If you don't know, MEPHISTO is Marvel's equivalent to Satan or the devil. Going back to the Christopher Priest comic book run that Coogler mentioned in the last point, MEPHISTO had a pretty big role as a villain against Black Panther. T'Challa is extremely powerful, so he deals with MEPHISTO quite easily, but regardless, bringing to life the comic book pages of MEPHISTO kidnapping Everett Ross and then trying to drag Black Panther to hell would be quite the cinematic adventure in our opinion. In at number 2, Dr. Doom. Another proposed theory of who the villain for the Black Panther sequel could be is Dr. Doom. A while back, before Disney purchased Fox, there was even rumors of the evil Dr. Doom getting his very own film. Although since the buyout happened, a lot of those plans were thrown out. On the bright side of things, this could mean Doom getting an opportunity as the main antagonist for Black Panther 2. The pair have gone head to head in the past, and Doom's appearance would certainly put his home of Latveria in the category of places not to mess with. Much like Wakanda, Latveria is an advanced society, although one that is ruled by Doom's dictatorship rather than a family of royals. Lastly, in our number 1 spot, a new Black Panther. When the snap occurred, Shuri's fate was left unknown. Although with her triumphant return in Avengers Endgame, many fans continued speculating on the role that she'll play in the next Black Panther film. Between the events of Infinity War and the release of Endgame, a lot of fans were theorizing that Shuri wasn't snapped away and had actually taken on the mantle Black Panther in the wake of their leader going missing. Even with T'Challa back, that still doesn't mean that we won't ever get to see a new Black Panther. There's always the possibility that something happens to T'Challa or that he must sacrifice himself for whatever reason, and thus Shuri will take the throne as the next in line. It's an interesting theory and one that would certainly add another tech-savvy genius hero to the Avengers. Plus, after again, spoiler alert, Tony died, we may need that more than ever. And that has been the top 10 Black Panther 2 fan theories. Thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, then show us some love by tapping that like and subscribe button. Plus, leave us a comment down below with your thoughts on this list. Do you have any Black Panther 2 theories? We want to read them all down below. Also, for more videos like this one, all you gotta do is click that playlist on the screen. From Top 10 Nerd, I'm Johnny Rogers. Until next time, take care.